today we are making cinnamon social slice. Cinnamon socializing with custard, layered between this soft and tender dough. And there's a little bit of a trick to getting this really cool braided presentation. I'll show you in a minute. This is directly inspired by the social slice from Ole and Steen, or Lagkagehuset. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's a bakery chain from Copenhagen. For our cinnamon filling, we're just going to combine all of our ingredients. The sweet potato, brown sugar, coconut oil. And you want it to be soft, not melted, but melted is fine. Cinnamon, and just with a silicone spatula, I'm pressing, using the back of the spatula to press and combine everything together. And you could do this in a blender, a spreadable brown sugary mixture. Before we assemble our cinnamon slice, we have our pastry cream that, as you can see, is quite set from the fridge. So we're just going to take to it with a whisk. It's got this beautiful, smooth and silky texture. So our dough has doubled in size. I'm just going to sprinkle a tiny bit of flour and press the air out. And this is something that we want to do before shaping it, just so it's easier to shape. It's conditioned and the air bubbles are a bit more of a consistent size. And then I'm going to sprinkle my bench lightly with some flour. And then we're just going to gently roll this out. So this is a little bit softer than brioche when it's chilled, but it's still perfectly manageable. We just use a bit of flour to help shape it. We want to get it to about 25 by 40 centimeters. So to get these kind of round bits square, I just leave a little bit thicker on one side and then roll them out. When you relax it, it's a bit more rectangular. So we have that. I'm going to now take my custard. So the creme patissiere, I've just beaten it with a whisk until it's smooth. So I'm now spreading it along half the dough to get a nice, generous layer of custard. And then taking my cinnamon filling and spreading it on the other side. Again, we want a nice, generous layer all the way across. We then want to start rolling it, and this is going to give us some really interesting layering. You can pinch this closed by brushing a bit of water or the baking glaze along the edge there, and then just pulling the dough over like that, just to seal our log. And then we can slide it onto a tray. And this is the fun part. So we're going to basically take a pair of scissors and cut vertically almost all the way down to the bottom, and then pull each side across to get a really cool woven pattern, cutting each side and then pulling them in alternating directions. And then we'll let this prove in a nice moist environment. This is the step that most people underestimate. Our dough really needs double in size, so we have a really fluffy, light bake. I like to put my bake into a large storage box that I can clip shut with a jug of some hot water, or you can use an oven that's been switched off, put your bake in the middle, and then pour some boiling water into a roasting tray underneath. Our lovely braid has proved. It has more than doubled in size, so we're getting it in the oven. Just going to give it a quick wash of the baking glaze, just for a really nice golden highlight. This is the baking glaze that I've just pre-prepared in advance, and I've got it in ice cubes in the freezer, and I just defrost one by one as I need it. And we're going in the oven. So we just want to bake this until beautifully golden, and then we'll let it cool before we drizzle some icing on it. Once our social slice has cooled down, we can either drizzle our icing on or pipe it. I prefer piping, but Today I'll just show you some drizzling. So it doesn't take much. I mean, look at it. The cinnamon filling socializing with the custard. Oh. Generally not the biggest fan of lots of icings. This filling is not that sweet, and so that little bit of extra sweetness from the icing is just perfect.